Well, you see, the student movement started in the 60s. And the only historical reason for when it started has to do with those men who fought in World War II. And they returned, and they went north because they were promised jobs in the steel mills and the post offices and places like that, auto industry. Those industries, the steel and auto, had been shut down during World War II in favor of becoming munition plants. So all those industries were making the ammunition and the machinery for the military, for the war. So if you go back in history, you'll see we didn't make cars in the U.S. in 41, 42, no, 42, 43, 44, and 45. We didn't make no cars. So you can find a 1941 Chevrolet and then a 1946 Chevrolet. But you can't find a 42, 43, 44. So when the war is over now, that's an interesting story because the black people had to fight to get in that war because they wanted to. I mean, we had a movement in this country, and they were doing a lot of work. And they put their movement on hold when they became to understand who Hitler was and what he was doing. And they had a fear that that kind of thing was going to spread all over the world. This idea that everybody that didn't have blonde hair, blue eyes, should be killed and slaughtered and put in ovens and burned. And so they dropped their movement and they demanded to go to the war to fight against Hitler. And they had to fight to get there. But they became the best soldiers. And it was actually a battalion of black soldiers that discovered the ovens that the Jews were being burned in and rescued them. A lot of Jews don't know that story. So in that struggle, coming out of the military, they were promised jobs in those industries that had supported the military, and that was steel and auto. So you had this big exodus of men moving north to get those jobs after World War II. Their children were college age in 1960. You follow me? And their children, we still had segregation in universities throughout the country. You could only go to black schools, and some white schools would take you if you was an exceptional student. You know, you could go to Harvard, but boy, you had to be a superstar. So basically everybody went to black colleges. So the black colleges was in the South, and they sent their children back south to go to college. But these children used to getting hamburgers in the middle of the night, and they stay up late. And when they tried to do it down south, they were told they couldn't. And some of them got mad over there in North Carolina, and they went on and sat in at a lunch counter and got arrested. And the word went out, and that thing spread like wildfire. Students start coming out of the dormitories, going into Woolworths and lunch counters and restaurants and demanding food and going to jail. So that's 1960. By late 1960, a woman named Ella Baker called them students together from all those campuses, made Martin King them pay for it. SCLC had formed after the Montgomery boycotts in 57, 58, 59 in Montgomery. And she got them to pay for getting the students together. And out of that meeting became something known as the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC. And their first organizing project was in Macomb, Mississippi, my hometown. And yes, I was the first part of the first two people to walk in a lunch counter in Mississippi and go to jail.